Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to DEADPIT Radio. I'm the Creepy Kentuckian here.
And I'm Uncle Bill. How y'all doing? It's great to see you.
I'm doing pretty good, Uncle Bill. You know, our buddy Dumal had another unique request this month for another oldie but a goodie. This one's from 1933.
This is an old one, and it's called Mutters in the Zoo. Yeah.
Heavily inspired the Wasp song Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Yeah.
It was originally called Murders in the Zoo. He had to change it because Universal were being cocksuckers and they threatened legal action. So he changed it to Murders in the Rue Morgue or whatever the hell that is. I don't know. But tonight,
Murders in the Rue Morgue magazine.
Mutters. It's Mutters in the Zoo. It's not in the Rue Morgue. It's in the zoo.
Did I tell you that I saw Rue Morgue magazine at Scarefest?
Rue Morgue.
It was good to see him. They won multiple Rondo Awards.
Was Joe Vakamukovic on there?
Joko Makavakavich was not on there. No, it was another gaggle of holes.
Anyway. A. Edward Sutherland made this movie for Paramount Pictures back in 1933.
Got the budget together. He said, I'm going to make a movie about Mutters in the Zoo.
Mutters in the Zoo? It's going to be a murder mystery.
Going to be a lot of people talking like this a long time. They're going to be speaking fast, and the dialogue's going to come fast and furious at your face.
You know, these movies, man. This was an 1 and 8 minute movie. Directed by A. Edward Sutherland. And you know, this is one of 1933, so still kind of early on in the talkie movies. And the thing that I'm noticing is, as the years go on and I start watching more and more of these movies, is not necessarily the movie itself, but just how much in its infancy filmmaking was back then. Because it was like, and I guess because it reminded me of the Three Stooges shorts in a lot of ways, because they were made the same way. Like, there's not a whole lot of ADR work. Nobody even knew what the hell ADR work was. You heard a lot of just, you know, atmosphere in the background, like nothing really. No music, or very little music in this. Because you got to think, this was back 1933. That's a long damn time ago, man. Long damn time ago.
A lot of people love to talk like this. They said, hello, good to see you, sir.
Yeah, they got all their news from the Funny Papas. They did. Listen to the old time, but it wasn't old time then. It was the radio hour.
Yeah. Hard to go to the zoo because we got the Great Depression going on.
Hottest shit going, yeah. You gotta think like there was no TVs even then, right? That was before TVs.
Yeah, it was way predating TV, I think.
Kids were playing fucking hopscotch.
They were playing jacks out here in the middle of the road.
They were hitting little rubber balls with fucking sticks out there. They didn't have a whole lot to play with in 1933.
Father said, go outside and get a stick to entertain yourself up your hours. And I did.
You just smacked around the stick, little boy.
That's what we did. We smacked each other with sticks all day.
But yeah, this one...
everything was gay and everything was fine. Everything was jolly and gay. Yeah.
Everyone was gay, and it was perfectly all right to be gay.
There's queer fellows in there. There's a queer fellow down the road, but it was jolly and gay.
But anyway, let's talk about Murders in the Zoo, Uncle Bill, because it stars Lionel Atwill. You familiar with his work, aren't you?
Yeah, he's
Lionel Atwill. He plays Eric Gorman, who is a zoologist, and he's extremely protective and jealous of his young wife, Evelyn.
Well, let's be honest. He's not that protective of her. I mean,
well, at first he is. Yeah. And then he's like, fuck you, bitch.
That's exactly what he's like. He's like, dumping your ass in the pit alligators. Yeah, it's like, I really do feel like this is a precursor to a bunch of other movies that like were kind of murder. It's not a murder mystery really, because you know who did it, but like it's like a revenge tale. Like this guy, the whole movie is just based around this guy who is absolutely like just really obsessed with two things: this woman, Evelyn, and this zoo. And anything that anybody that gets around her that he thinks might be, you know, that kind of thing.
Want to get a piece of Avalon? You're going to get a piece of death from me.
That's right. Meh. So, yeah, like he finds creative ways to use the zoo to kill him, you see.
Yeah, he's got a pet mamba that'll come and bite you right in your ass.
Oddly enough, it's not a black mamba, it's a green mamba. Yeah.
It's the rarest of all the mambas, the green version.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon Elite mamba.
So Evelyn is, he's obsessed. He's married to her somehow. I don't know how he talked himself into that because he seems like pretty much a straight asshole from the second you see him. Yep. Rich asshole who is, bringing all these animals in from Africa and New Zealand or wherever the hell they're all coming from. They got animals like bears and monkeys and big snakes.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
And there's some real violence between the lions and the tigers later on in the movie. Some crazy shit. I don't know if
you gotta love movies like this back in the day where they were just like, let's just release all these animals, see what happens, and we'll film it.
The mouse says the kids playing tiddlywinks back in the 30s.
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks.
Yeah, this guy's using the zoo to take out the people that, that get in his way.
He's not a big fan of people that get all over his wife, you see.
And there's murders in the zoo, right? Yeah. That leads us up to murders in the zoo. And he's an evil bastard.
He is. He's a dickhead.
Of course, towards the end of the movie, he's going to get his comeuppance, but you're going to have to watch and find out because I'm not spoiling a 91-year-old movie for you guys.
No, you don't want to do that. But listen, let's
be
fair here for a second, okay? I mean, she was indeed planning on like leaving him for this guy. Let's be clear. Like, this is not something he like came up with in his own mind.
Right.
This woman who was also a part of this zoo expedition and this feller who was like a snake handler of some kind. Not snake handler. Like they got together.
Could handle the snake.
Yeah, he was handling the snake. And they got together and they were going to leave, but like he wasn't having any of it. So he
was like, "Hey, Evelyn, come out and look at the alligator."
There is a part in it where like she sneaks into the zoo and he just picks her up and fucking Ultimate Warrior gorilla presses her into a bunch of alligators.
What's funny is you got this guy too, I can't remember if he was like some assistant or something, and like a comedic relief character while all this is going on.
Like, did you notice he like dropped his lines a bunch of times? Like,
yeah, and they didn't even edit it. Yeah. Which again, that was another example of like early filmmaking, I guess. But yeah, this is an hour long, just barely an hour long. And something that's interesting that I was reading when I was looking up trivia on this. So this is a Paramount movie, but Universal purchased this one along with 700 other Paramount titles forever for like a distribution deal. And they're still re-releasing these movies today. There's some of them that are very well known, like Cat and the Canary and The Uninvited. So that was a hell of a deal. I think it was back in the 50s. And this is one of those movies as well. So it was originally a Universal picture, but originally a Paramount picture, but Universal, those greedy bastards, they've taken them all and they've made fortunes on some of these old early talkie films.
Yep. I think that this is a pretty straightforward movie though. Like there was not a whole lot of, mystery or you pretty much like knew what was going to happen throughout it because there's a scene. This is what was killer about movies around that time too. There's a scene where the lead heel in the film is basically like he says something like, I want you to come over and take. He says it more like, I want you to come over and take a look at these there's new snakes that we got. And then like the guy's like, yeah, I'd like to do that or whatever. And then he's like, okay, well, it'll be good to see you then. And then like he leaves, it pans
Look
like
at that bow.
it pans in on that guy's face. And I swear to God, he goes like this. He goes for like 10 seconds.
Son of a bitch.
He's like, yeah, we know you're the heel. We got it.
Lionel Atwell's a hell of a heel in this. I mean, it was fine. It was an hour long. You know, I mean, it wasn't some big, like, like Jamal's picked some damn good ones in the past, but it wasn't like one of those where I was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. I had heard about this movie kind of in passing, and it is one of the more well-known early, horror movies, 1933. I don't even know if it's really a horror movie. What would you call it? A murder?
Yeah, just a
suspense
sort thriller, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely no mystery to it. We know who the damn killer is from the get-go. And
it's got some, I can imagine people watching this in 1933 and being like, what the shit? Like, I mean, there's a scene in the beginning where he sews the guy's mouth shut. And then there's the scene like where he dumps her to the alligators. I mean, that's pretty heavy stuff for that time.
Yeah.
Period, for sure.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Like that as early as it was, they did do a few things that were kind of unheard of.
And at the end, not to give it away, not to give the movie away or anything, but like, I mean, what's going to happen at the end of the movie in this because it's just the way that it's made. But he gets his comeuppance, so to speak, and that's a pretty wild scene too for 1933, if you think about it. Which actually, come to find out, really inspired Anaconda to come out, and John Voight signed on because of this movie. And
yeah, there is a scene with a snake that is pretty crazy for back then, really.
Yep.
And the doctor in this, Dr. Woodford, is played by Randolph Scott.
Randolph Scott,
who has a gigantic filmography, mainly westerns done from like all the way back in the 20s through like the late 50s, early 60s. I think he had a very long career, and it was mainly all westerns, but this is one of the few exceptions.
There's a recurring thing in Blazing Saddles where everybody just goes, Randolph Scott. Like they worship him in that movie.
So he's like a Western god. But yeah, very early one here. Plays Dr. Woodford. He's the one that actually finds out what all's going on and how evil Lionel Atwell is, the piece of shit.
You're a piece of trash, buddy. I don't appreciate this.
But this one is actually out on Blu-ray from our good buddies over at Scheme Factory. It's one of those Universal horror collections that
I saw that
they released. And the print that I watched was kind of rough. So I'm willing to bet that they probably had a pretty good, pristine copy of it if somebody wants to check it out. But Murders in the Zoo, it was okay. It was an hour. It was a pretty easy watch. Is it something that I would ever watch again? No.
I feel like it's a good waste of an hour, though, because you get to see like where a lot of movies that came after this picked up certain kind of cues and things, And this movie's wild. The fact it's got real live wild animals that they keep fucking with, and like, some fights and stuff like that ensue. I don't know if there were any deaths or anything. It looks like there possibly could have been, like off camera, but they're not on there. This is pre-code stuff too, I'm pretty sure.
Pre-code? They got all the animals from Ringling Brothers and Bottom Bailey Circus today.
They're like, bring all those animals in there and kick them in the ass when you get.
We don't want no fucking elephants, though. Them elephants shit everywhere.
Yeah. If you got a stick, we can beat them animals into them cages with that stick.
We're signing an exclusive deal with Ringling Brothers, Bottom and Bailey Circus. We did 1933 to get all them lions and tigers and bears and monkeys and snakes and all kinds of shit.
Then we said, fuck it, and let them all loose against each other. We thought that would be a good idea in the middle of this movie.
Yeah, we lock them up and don't feed them for a few days and then set them free.
What we did was we rattled their cages for a while. We stuck a stick in there and poked at them, and then we let them loose. We thought that would spice the movie up a bit.
Damn right, goddammit, it's Ringling Brothers, Bottom and Bailey animals. from the circus.
Them goddamn,
1933.
goddamn animals are loose. Now loose down now, not raw.
This is going. Let me tell you, Moses and Sons is going to be a fucking classic. People are going to be talking about it 91 years from now.
It is weird that we're talking about it now. Like, so how these films come about to us is just bizarre.
But hey, it's always fun. Our buddy Dumal, one of the ballers and shot callers, requested this. So yeah, thank you, sir. Hopefully this was a good enough for review for you. But you know, the thing that I'll say about Dumal is he always picks stuff that we have never fucking heard of. Like, I mean, pretty much consistently.
Yep.
Stuff that we have never seen and probably would never watch otherwise. So keep them coming, brother. That's all I can say. We want to watch some old early talkie shit.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? Well, the sound did with Ringling Brothers Ball and Baylor Circus. So that is it for the review, and we will catch you guys next time over at
DEADPIT.com.
I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury, and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.